Hello, this is Haske TV News with Ahmed Abubakar. The Nigerian northeastern state of Borno is witnessing a renewed humanitarian crisis. First was the Boko Haram insurgency and now a devastating flood which hit Maiduguri, the state capital. Haske TV News crew filed a special report on the situation in Maiduguri, where residents are coming to terms with the aftermath of the disaster while counting their losses. The report.
Thousands of residents are still counting their losses while trying to rebuild their lives. This disaster took many by surprise, devastating homes and forcing thousands into makeshift refugee camps.
Eto gaskiya ni ina kwance sai aka ce ga ruwa ya zo yana fitowa ta barin yamma ai ta barin gabar shikenan to muna kwance da yaran mu da mamar mu shikenan sai aka ce mu fita sai mun za mu fita muna fara fita muna tattara kaya muna fita a bakin kofa shikenan sai aka ce mu koma can gefe to kafin mu gaskiya mun gama fita kafin ruwan nan ya iso mu tatil har mu kasa fita da mun fita bakin kofa mota ta zo ta dauke mu bayan mun kwana da rana shine aka zo aka dauke mu aka kawo mu nan.
The flood waters have rekindled the region's humanitarian crisis, one that was already strained by over a decade of conflict due to the Boko Haram insurgency. Thousands of families displaced by the flood have been forced to seek refuge in overcrowded camps and schools. Dozens of camps have been set up across Maiduguri, including at the Modu Fanami Gubio Mega Primary School and the Uwais Primary and Secondary School. These facilities, once meant for learning, are now shelters for flood victims. Health officials are deeply concerned about the overcrowded living conditions and the lack of proper sanitation. Relief efforts are already underway, with food items being distributed at Government College, Maiduguri and other locations. However, many families continue to face uncertainty, relying on both government and charitable organizations for sustenance. As Maiduguri residents continue to battle the aftermath of the flood, the combined challenges of displacement, health risk, and resource shortages create a nightmarish humanitarian crisis. A National Emergency Management Agency official admits that though they were thoroughly prepared for a flood in the area this season, the collapse of the dam took them by surprise.
Rainfall seasonal prediction from NIMET, and we have that, and they were able to identify various states that this particular flood is going to be affected, including Maiduguri. So you know, the disaster was coupled or escalated due to some drainage that comes down from Alo Dam. So it aggravated the expected flood. Yeah. So the scope was quite high, and still, as I told you, more partners are coming in, more support is coming in, and more personnel are still on ground. So by God's grace, we are going to overcome it.
As you can see behind me, these are victims of the flood disaster that happened a couple of days ago, and they are here to get foodstuff relief materials from donated by the state government, corporate organizations and individuals. Just as you can see, they are just lined up and seated and patiently collecting their relief materials. Barry Cletus reporting for Haske TV from Maiduguri.
The federal government has called on the private sector to adhere to the 70,000 naira minimum wage, stressing that the new wage is necessary to address the current economic reality. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Ismail Abubakar, stated this in Lagos while speaking at the 13th Annual General Meeting of the Employers Association for Private Employment Agencies of Nigeria. Abubakar, who was represented by Director of Employment and Wages of the ministry, said the new wage is now a law and it is punishable crime for any employer to pay less than 70,000 naira. The Lagos State government has decried the use of substandard materials by building contractors, stressing high risk to lives and investment in the state. General Manager of the State Materials Testing Laboratory Agency, Olayinka Abdul, made the call while speaking to a team of executive members of the Nigerian Institute of Builders in her office. Spokesperson of the agency, Salehu Badejo Abimbola, said the manager called for a working synergy amongst construction professionals in curbing all forms of substandard materials that aggravate building collapse in the state. We now take a break, after which we will resume and the news will continue. Stay with us.
Our communities, rural areas and villages better. Agrisol is here to tackle deforestation, land degradation, erosion, desertification, drought and climate change, repair damaged lands, show good farming methods and increase food production. From Adamawa to Zamfara, Agrisol is here. Across 19 northern states, FCT, Agrisol is here. Agrisol is here to make our communities, rural areas and lives better. Agrisol is here to make for the women, farmers, youths. To make go baba. Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Borno, FCT. Agrisol is here to restore your land. Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina. Agrisol is here to restore your land. Kebi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger. Agrisol is here to restore your land. Letu, Sokoto, Yobe, Taraba, Zamfara. Agrisol is here to restore your land. Agrisol is here to green our environment. Agrisol is here to make life better.
We are pleased to announce the opening of the 2024-25 academic session of Noble Path Academy, the right school for your child. Noble Path Academy offers a British curricula, providing your child a well-rounded and engaging learning experience. With highly qualified teachers and fully digitized classrooms, your child is assured the best education in an environment that is ideal for learning. Greater attention is also paid to critical thinking, soft skills, and practicals. Our facilities include a captivating playground, fully digitized learning tools, a British curriculum, and hands-on activities, sports, and many more. Noble Path Academy is located at number 15 Palace Way, Jalingo. Noble Path, the right place to send your child.
Welcome back. The news continues. A week after resumption of the 2024-2025 academic session, students turn out at primary and secondary school levels in major cities is very poor due to the hike in transport fare. Reports indicate significant decrease in students' attendance, teachers and school managers in many schools when classes began September 9th. Recall that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) announced new petrol pump price where marketers sell the product between 1,200 naira and 1,300 naira per litre. The Governing Council of the University of Maiduguri has approved the appointment of Professor Mohammed Laminu Mele as the substantive Vice Chancellor of the university. This followed the recommendation of the Joint Council and the Senate Selection Board, which interviewed 4 applicants for the post. Professor Mohammed Laminu Mele is a distinguished scholar of English language and linguistics with over 2 decades of dedicated service in teaching, research, and community service. Sokoto State High Court has granted bail to Dr. Abubakar Alkali, a senior lecturer with the Department of Petroleum and Gas Engineering at Base University. Abubakar Alkali was arrested on allegation of supporting the End Bad Government protest and had been held by the Department of State Service (DSS) for the past 3 weeks. The source commended the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), the NBA Citizen Liberties Committee, and the Sokoto State branch of the NBA for their support and intervention in the matter. With this, we have come to the end of the news. Do join us tomorrow for another fresh bulletin of the package. Thanks for watching.